Well, if you've ever met a rower, calling them a competitive bunch might be the understatement of the year, maybe even ever, especially when it comes to rowers in Winnipeg and Thunder Bay. Now, we're using the word rivalry, but they'll have their own way of framing it too. It is all about the competition on and off the water. So, when we heard about a little ceremony involving both clubs that happened last week, we wanted to know more. Rowers from both clubs made an exchange, one group handing over a pennant. Don't worry, we'll get into what that means. The other letting them use their boat for the regatta. Vince Rutter is with the Thunder Bay Club, joining us by Zoom. Welcome to the program. Hello, Vince.
Hi, thanks for having me.
And Andrew Lamont is with the Winnipeg Club and is in studio. Andrew, welcome. Hello.
Hi, Vince.
Hey, Andrew. Good to see you.
Andrew, you know about this handover. What's so special about this pennant, this old-looking flag?
It's from the 1950s. It was part of the possessions of Cyril Cano, a Thunder Bay rower. And when he passed away, his family managed to get it to Vince and the Thunder Bay Rowing Club, who framed it for us and thought it would be a really good exchange. As you mentioned, we lent them an 8 to use in the regatta. They hadn't actually raced the 8 very often in the last 10 or 20 years or so. I've been rowing at the regatta 39 years, and it's been a long time since I saw them have an 8 on the water. So it was we were happy to loan a boat. But when they came over with this frame and it was wrapped in cardboard, we were really kind of surprised, and they opened it up and here's this treasure, piece of memorabilia from the 50s with a competitor's ribbon and another competitor's ribbon from a previous Northwest regatta. So it was a really thoughtful exchange because while we are fierce competitors,
right.
It's pretty friendly competition as well.
Vince, how long have you had this pennant?
Well, we've only had it in our possession for several months, but Cyril had it in his possession presumably since the 50s. Cyril died last August. I'm not sure what his age was, but it was certainly in the upper 80s. So he's had it with a few other prized possessions from his rowing days that now the club has, including an old oar and some of his badges, I guess, that go on some jackets. This flag really stands out though as unique because it just seems so old. It seems so treasured.
Right, and so Andrew, what were you thinking and feeling when you saw this pennant seemingly return home?
Well, I mean, it's a real surprise, and we're especially grateful to Thunder Bay. Our club was founded in 1881, so we do have a lot of precious memorabilia going back over 100 years. The Northwest International Rowing Association Regatta is 120 years old, so there's a lot of racing and history between the clubs and the association. So when something pops up that is we haven't seen for 75 years, I mean, it's kind of special, right? And so it's sort of emblematic of the competition and friendliness and sportsmanship that goes on at the regatta, but they're treasures that are irreplaceable. So when someone finds it in a basement or in a shoebox or whatever, it's so great that it makes its way home. And they, framed it, as you can see. It's really quite attractive. And we just finished a big renovation of our boathouse, so we're going to find pride of place for it.
The origin story is interesting, and I alluded to this in the introduction about the competitiveness. We know a bunch of things, so we know that it came from someone in Thunder Bay. We know his name. We know his daughter's name. But we don't actually know why he had it. And Vince, we're talking to both of you, including Andrew, because there is a version of the story of what happened and why Cyril kept this. Talk about why you've decided to help fill the blanks in.
Well, I mean, we don't know how it came to Thunder Bay, and it does seem odd. When we first got it, we thought, why is this here? This doesn't make sense. And we have a lot of records, but we're a volunteer club, just like all rowing clubs. So we have piles of records that would take a lot of volunteer time to sort through and make sense of. So we don't really know, but rowers in the 50s, especially Thunder Bay rowers in the past, our club has had a reputation of being gritty and fun, I guess. The Thunder Bay parties were notorious. So,
Right.
I mean, it makes sense to me that in the 50s, somehow this got into Cyril's hands and he kept it in his house for 70 years.
And there's so many questions, right, Andrew? Like, why did he keep it in his house for so long? I mean, what have you heard so far about why this might be?
Well, I mean, I think it's probably because we like to collect souvenirs from notable events and stuff like that. So, it's hard to imagine exactly what went on, but the competition is really fierce and friendly, and it's hard to win. It's very competitive. So, in every event, it's very close and tight racing, not only in the individual events, but for the overall points trophies that each clubs compete for as well. So it's entirely possible that they had a great year and they won a lot of races. And if the regatta was in Winnipeg or wherever, there would be pennants from every club and maybe just a little souvenir hunting.
Do you think he kept it because of spite?
No, I think it's probably because he had a great regatta and won a few races and wanted something else, just not more than a medal to remember it by.
Vince, you borrowed, I'm calling it a boat, but I'm probably using the wrong word here. You borrowed it, you used it. Did you win?
No, we didn't. We didn't win, and apparently that boat has never lost a race, is what I'm told by the Winnipeg people. So we let them down. We used it twice, and we didn't win. But as Andrew said, we haven't put men's eight on the water in 30 years, just because that's how clubs work. There's ups and downs. So it's been a while. We're very, very happy to put it on the water and have 8 guys together for that race, and we're very grateful to use their boat. Our women did have an 8 on the water as well, and they won their race. They're the Open Women's 8 champion, which we're very, very proud of. And as Andrew said, it's very hard to win these races. Rowing seems simple and easy to look at, but there's so many nuances and so many things that can work in your favor or against you. So you have to work very, very hard and sometimes get lucky to win a race. And I was fortunate to win the Masters men's double with my partner Terry Hamilton, who Andrew knows very well and has competed against for many years. And I mean, we won the race. Terry's a beast, so we did win the race, and I'm very proud of that.
Andrew, who's the better club?
Well, I think we're a little bit bigger, but I mean, and Thunder Bay had a huge comeback this year, right? So when I started 39 years ago, they were the number 1 club, really hard to beat. And clubs go through ups and downs and cycles and so on. I'm pretty proud of we were the winningest club. Like we won, I think, 14 medals. Vince beat me on the last race of the regatta for sure. That was tough, and it was a steam and headwind, and we had already been up and down the lake about 7 or 8 times each. So it was a long, long race, but he and Terry are pretty fierce, as just in the same way that my partner and I are. So it's you leave it all on the lake, and then, in fact, you go for a swim afterwards. There's a big banquet. Yeah, it's thirsty work, Faye. So we had a good time afterwards.
Vince, do you wish your last name was Rutter because of what you're doing?
There's some jokes that happen for sure. You guys need a rudder in your boat. Like, I have to what Andrew's leaving out of his account, though, is that he beat us in the Masters quad the day before, so we're even.
We're talking about this because there are a bunch of rumors that started about the origin story of this pennant. You are both much kinder on the radio about the origin story and about what you think of each other. Before you go, I'll ask both of you this: what's the best part of having this this friendly rivalry, Andrew?
Well, it goes back a long, long time. And it's as strong and as fierce as ever. I mean, it's not just between our clubs, it's with the 8 or 9 other clubs in the association. The regatta is 120 years old. It's really great to see people compete and try for their club to try and win individual events, but also points trophies. Our trophies go back to the 1800s. It's a collection of silverware that you would not find outside of a museum, right? And we all meet in Kenora every year, which is a perfect venue. It's a great little lake. That little club does a huge job of hosting, sort of 400 or 500 rowers for 2 days. We start at 7 in the morning. You finish at 6 at night. There's a race every 10 minutes. So it's such a great sport, and it's a lifelong sport, right? So we had kids from 15. Our oldest competitor was 75. And you just keep on going year after year. I hope you're training hard this winter, Vince, because we're looking to take that Masters double back next year.
Last word for you, Vince.
Yeah, well, we're trying to learn from what Winnipeg did this year with your improvement last year over this year. So we'll be back next year for sure, and hopefully increasing our medal count by 50% or 100%. But to answer your question, rowing's unique because it's somewhat individual, but it's still a team sport. And the clubs we train in isolation. And then we get together at regattas, but regattas are super intense. There's not that much time for socializing, and this pennant gave us an opportunity to meet and for some of our young rowers to meet some of the Winnipeg rowers, and for us to use their boat. And it's a great reason to be social. So we're very happy for that, and very thankful for Winnipeg for letting us use their boat.
Vince, thanks very much for making time.
Next year, we'll see you on the water.
Vince and Andrew, thank you.
You're welcome.
That's
Thank you.
Vince Rutter with the Thunder Bay Club joining us by Zoom. Andrew Lamont is with the Winnipeg Club joining us in studio.